Index. What are generative AI, machine learning, and deep learning? Pros and cons of generative AI. Using generative AI for school. Brainstorming essay ideas and finding leads for research. Reviewing and editing essays. Understanding concepts, ideas, and topics. Tips. Risks of AI. What are generative AI, machine learning, and deep learning? Generative AI refers to technology that uses machine learning and/or deep learning to generate new content like text, images, videos, PowerPoints, code, etc., simulate human-like behavior, and provide personalized experiences. Machine learning is a form of artificial intelligence based on algorithms trained on data. These algorithms detect patterns and learn to make predictions and recommendations by processing data and experiences rather than by receiving direct programming instruction. Deep learning is a type of machine learning that can process a wider range of data resources, images, for instance, in addition to text, requires less human intervention, and can produce more accurate results than traditional machine learning. Using generative AI for school. Generative AI can be useful and help people learn and deepen knowledge and abilities, helping students excel. It can help with writing prompts for brainstorming, finding leads, reviewing and editing a person's essay, and understanding concepts, ideas, and topics. Generative AI can be an essential companion to studies. Reviewing and editing your essays. Provide context. When creating a prompt for AI, the more context, the better. Context can go from why the question is being asked to how the question should be answered. Let's say there is an essay that has been finished. The writer could ask AI to revise it with a prompt like "revise this essay," but this is very general. Is a grammar check needed? Or sentence structure? Does the writer need help with a thesis or checking citations? Are there specific requirements? Write different prompts for different aspects of the text. For example, revise in-text citations. Did I develop my thesis? Or check for grammar and sentence structure are all helpful additions. Explain how revisions should be explained. For example, revise the in-text citations and write a list with all the mistakes found point by point, or explain the accuracy of the thesis. These prompts will give results that will be more useful in revisions. Brainstorming essay ideas and finding leads for research essays. The most common way of interacting with AI is by prompt input. Type a prompt, and the AI will produce content based on that. For example, a student has to write an essay on Hungarian poetry from the 18th century. The student could start with a prompt like, "Give me some topics to write an essay on Hungarian poetry." AI can help find leads into research, authors, or potential sources, or start a deeper research. Talk to AI like a person. When trying to generate content with AI, simple commands will probably give decent results. But generative AI can handle complex questions and ideas. Be as specific as possible. Users should reframe the questions once they get a response if they need to go in a different direction. A better prompt includes more information and is specific. For example, I am taking a poetry class on 18th century Hungarian poetry, and I was asked to investigate and write an essay on one poetry genre from that time. Could you give me some topics and some leads to start my research? Understanding concepts, ideas, and topics. Generative AI can help with writing, but it can also help in classes by answering questions on topics. If a student is writing an essay on a film about nuclear physics, but doesn't know the difference between nuclear fusion and fission, said student could use Google and go through different sources to reach their own conclusions. However, maybe the sources found are too difficult or complex if one is not specialized. Here's where generative AI can help. Ask it to summarize articles. Summarize the following article. and then paste the article text into the chat box for the AI to analyze. Ask it to explain the topic itself. Explain the difference between nuclear fusion and fission. Ask it to explain the topic in simple terms. Explain the difference between nuclear fusion and fission in layman's terms, or explain it in 3 sentences. Try to frame the prompts in a way that helps the most. Risks of AI. Even though generative AI can be beneficial for students, they should keep in mind that there are some risks when using it. Risk number 1, data privacy and security. It is important to consider the privacy and security of personal data when using generative AI platforms, as many of them collect and analyze data to sell to third parties. Risk 2, bias and fairness. Generative AI can, unintentionally, reflect biases present in data, leading to inaccurate outcomes. AI algorithms might inadvertently perpetuate gender or racial biases, for example, and require further evaluation. Risk number 3, dependence and over-reliance. Excessive reliance on generative AI may hinder critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Relying on AI-generated content without understanding the concepts can limit ability to think independently and engage with subject matter. Risk number 4, misinformation and plagiarism. Generative AI may generate inaccurate or misleading information. It is important to evaluate and verify the output. Copying AI-generated content without proper attribution can lead to unintentional plagiarism, compromising academic integrity. The good, the bad, and the ugly of generative AI. Generative AI can be used to engage with academic dishonesty. This can be done using simple prompts. EPCC could consider this potentially plagiaristic. Using generative AI prevents students from learning tools that would be used in their career paths. Not only this, but they'll be using an imperfect tool. ChatGPT can create convincing texts, but oftentimes will use inaccurate information, cannot cite sources, and is not capable of knowing if the text it generates makes sense. ChatGPT, for example, works from previously gathered data, not intuition or knowledge. It can provide words and sentences that make sense, but it doesn't know why they make sense. It is designed to show answers that are, according to the limitations of the data provided to it, correct. Tips. Keep the AI on track. Generative AI has a degree of awareness of answers and results it gives, but can go off on tangents or produce things that deviate from the prompt. In the case of text-based AI, writers can ask things like, "Why is that?" or "What evidence supports this answer?" to get it back on track. Or writers can rephrase the question. Specificity. It is important to be specific when writing prompts. This includes the length of the responses and also elements such as format. Certain AI, such as ChatGPT, cannot provide a real-time source list. Keep this in mind, as different AI models have different strengths and limitations. While this presentation was mostly in regard to ChatGPT, there are other AI out there that could serve as valuable alternative tools based on the capabilities needed. Make sure to do research on this topic to stay up to date with this evolving technology. Remember to verify the information given is valid. Do research based on the provided information. Conclusion. Generative AI can be a helpful tool for students. It can help brainstorm, provide leads, resources and solutions, or help explain subjects and ideas. Its ethical use can be very useful for students and writers at all levels. There are risks that should be analyzed before using something generated by AI for an assignment, such as a lack of resources, accuracy, and misinformation.
Online assistance is available via the EPCC Writing Center website. You can meet one-on-one with a tutor virtually on Blackboard Collaborate. Audible and written feedback is also available via email submission. Please visit the Writing Center website for more information and operating hours.